Paragraph 1. The pain still lingered in Ada's chest. It wasn't just the shame, it was the betrayal, the kind that left deep marks no one could see. She had been accused wrongly, in front of strangers, without mercy. Ada was a single mother, young but strong. She cleaned houses for a living, going from one home to another with her baby strapped on her back or sometimes left in her neighbor's care. It wasn't a glamorous life, but it was honest. Every month, she managed to gather about 26,000 naira, sometimes 30,000 if there were more jobs. "It's small," she would say, "but God is faithful." The father of her child had passed on before the baby was born. There was no one else, just her and her little one. Paragraph 2. It was on a Thursday that everything changed. A man named Kunal, someone she had known in the area, reached out. "Ada, you day house?" he asked over the phone. "Yes, Kunal. Hope no problem," she replied, wiping sweat from her forehead after finishing a job. "Dem do birthday for one compound. I go give you work to clean the place. Dem go pay you 10K. Ada's eyes lit up. 10,000, she repeated. "Yes, nah," he confirmed. "Just make sure you finish the work well." She didn't hesitate. "I go come." "Thank you, Kunal." It was a good opportunity. With that money, she could rest for a day or two and even buy a better diaper pack for her baby. Paragraph 3. The event was big. Balloons, loud music, and people laughing. Ada arrived quietly, just as the last guests were leaving. She tied her scarf tightly, pulled her gloves out from her bag, and went straight to work. Empty cups, disposable plates, leftover food, all scattered across the compound. She worked quickly but thoroughly, as she always did. She never liked to stay long in unfamiliar places. Just as she was packing some trash into a black bag, she felt someone yank her arm from behind. Paragraph 4. "Why you chop our meat?" a voice screamed behind her. Ada turned sharply. A young woman with sharp eyes and painted nails stood in front of her, furious. "Meat?" Ada blinked. "Which meat? I never even enter the kitchen, Ma." The girl shouted louder, drawing attention. "Liar! The meat that was in the kitchen is gone. You're the only outsider here." Ada's heart started racing. From nowhere, a group gathered around. People stared. Fingers pointed. Even Kunal, who had brought her for the job, stood silently at the back. "Kunal," Ada called. "Tell them I came to clean. You saw me working." But he looked away, chewing his lip. "You poor cleaners, always hungry like mad dogs," someone said from the side. Paragraph 5. Ada dropped to her knees, tears pouring from her eyes. "I swear I didn't take anything," she cried. "I didn't even go to the kitchen." But the insults kept coming. "Thief! Dirty woman! God punish you!" one shouted. Another hissed. "Not cleaner you go die." The words cut deep, too deep. She sobbed loudly, rolling on the floor, begging. Then an elderly woman walked in. Ada rushed to her, kneeling in front of her. "Mama, please. I'm innocent. I didn't steal." But the woman said nothing, only looked at her with tired eyes. Moments later, someone pushed Ada towards the gate. "Leave. Get out of this place before we beat you." Paragraph 6. The gate slammed shut behind Ada, and she stood outside, shaking from head to toe. The sky had grown dark, and rain had started to fall. Cold drops soaked her clothes, but she didn't move. She was too broken to care. Her hands clutched the edge of her wrapper, her eyes swollen from crying. "How did I end up like this?" she whispered. The memory of when she first got pregnant came rushing back. That rainy night when the father of her baby threw her out, told her to go and fend for herself. That same helplessness came back now, heavy and suffocating. People walked past, some glancing at her, others ignoring her completely. Ada sat on the roadside, letting the rain wash over her shame. Paragraph 7. She eventually stood up, her legs weak beneath her. The money she was supposed to earn from that cleaning job was gone. Worse than that, her dignity had been dragged through the mud. She didn't even want to enter a bus. She just walked, slow and wet, through the silent streets. When she finally reached home, it was past 11 at night. Her baby was asleep in the neighbor's room. "Ah, Ada, what happened?" the woman asked when she saw her soaked clothes and red eyes. Ada tried to speak, but the words got stuck in her throat. She only managed to say, "Dem disgrace me." And then she collapsed into a chair and cried like a wounded child. Paragraph 8. The next morning her phone rang. She almost didn't want to answer, but it kept ringing. It was Connell. With shaky fingers she picked it up. "Hello," her voice cracked. "Ada, a beg. Make you no vex," he said. "Wetin happen?" she asked coldly. "They found the meat," he said slowly. "Na their auntie hide am for fridge. She don return this morning, come tell them." Ada froze. "So, I suffered all that for nothing." Connell was silent for a few seconds. "Dem say make I tell you sorry." "Sorry?" Ada laughed bitterly. "You watched them insult me and now you're saying sorry?" Paragraph 9. "You for talk," she snapped over the phone. "You saw me cleaning. I didn't even enter that kitchen. Yet you kept quiet while they cursed me." Connell mumbled. "I no know what to do." The girl 2-day shout. "I fear say dem go carry the matter reach police." Ada hissed. "So you feared for yourself and left me to suffer? You stood there and let them call me names, let them throw me out like trash." Connell tried to calm her. "I be man too. I no support wetin dem do. Not why I dey call now." Ada ended the call. She couldn't bear to listen anymore. The apology meant nothing. The pain was already deep in her bones. Paragraph 10. For the rest of the day, Ada stayed inside. She didn't go out to hustle. She didn't cook. She didn't even speak much to her baby. Her heart was heavy with shame and anger. She replayed every word they had said to her. "Thief! Dirty cleaner! Not cleaner you go die." She wiped her tears and stood before the mirror. "I won't curse them," she said quietly. "But God in heaven saw everything." Her chest tightened again. "I work hard," she whispered. "I never steal in my life. Why would they treat me like dirt?" Her eyes watered again, but she didn't let the tears fall. "One day," she said to her reflection, "they will regret this." Paragraph 11. That evening, Ada sat on the floor beside her sleeping baby. Her mind wandered to the other cleaners she had worked with before. Older women, quiet girls, single mothers like herself. So many of them carried shame silently. People looked down on them just because they cleaned dirt. But nobody ever cared how honest they were. "Just because I bend to sweep doesn't mean I'm beneath you," she muttered. Her baby stirred in sleep, and she gently rocked the mat. Ada couldn't sleep. Her heart still ached, and her mind wouldn't let go of the voices, the pushing, the humiliation. Paragraph 12. The next morning her neighbor, Mama Chitty, knocked gently. "Ada, how you day?" she asked. Ada forced a smile. "I day." The woman sat beside her. "Chidinma told me what happened. That boy that took you there is heartless," she said angrily. "And the family. They should all be ashamed." Ada sighed. "They found the meat. It was their auntie that hid it." "Ihen. So you mean they disgraced you for nothing?" Ada nodded slowly. "I still day think about it." Mama Chitty shook her head. "People too quick to judge. If na God day judge us like that, who for survive?" Ada gave a faint smile. "That's true." Paragraph 13. Later that day Connell came by. He stood awkwardly at the door, not sure if she'd let him in. "Ada," he called softly. She looked up. "What do you want?" Her tone was cold. I came to say sorry face to face," he said, looking at the ground. "I know I should have spoken up. I failed you." Ada folded her arms. "You did more than fail me. You kept quiet when your voice could have cleared my name." Connell nodded. "I was scared. I thought they might turn on me too." Ada stared at him, tears threatening to fall again. "So you saved yourself and let me drown." Paragraph 14. "I know I messed up," Connell said softly. "But I swear, Ada, I didn't mean for it to go that far." She shook her head slowly. You stood there, Cunnel. You let them push me out in the rain. You heard them curse me. You didn't even walk me to the gate. And now you think sorry will clean all that pain. He shifted uncomfortably. I want to make it right. Ada looked him in the eye. You can't make it right. Not with words. Not with fake apologies. Just go. He hesitated. Ada, please. I said go, she shouted, and her voice cracked. He slowly turned and walked away. Paragraph 15. The days that followed were quiet. Ada didn't take any jobs. She spent her time with her child, reflecting. The wound in her heart was fresh, and though the rain had stopped outside, it kept pouring inside her. One afternoon, she stood in front of her small mirror, brushing her hair. Her baby crawled near her feet. You will not suffer, she whispered to him. Even if I have to carry people's insults again, I will feed you. I will clothe you. I won't let them break me. She wiped a tear. They cursed me, but they are not God. Paragraph 16. By the end of the week, Ada got a call from a woman named Madame Ife. I hear say you day clean house, she said. Ada hesitated. Yes, ma. I need someone honest, oh. No thief walla. Ada's heart skipped. That word again. But she kept her voice calm. I no day steal, ma. I just need work. The woman chuckled. Good. Come tomorrow morning. I pay 8K. Ada agreed. After the call, she sat in silence. Do I keep doing this? She wondered aloud. Or is this life always going to humiliate me? Paragraph 17. The next morning, she tied her scarf neatly, packed her supplies, and kissed her baby before leaving him with Mama Chitty. You come back early? The woman asked. Ada nodded. By God's grace. When she reached the new location, it was a large house with a well-kept compound. A calm-looking woman in her 50s opened the door. You're Ada. Yes, ma. Come in. Madame Ife watched her carefully. You look familiar somehow. Ada gave a nervous smile. Maybe I resemble someone. The woman shrugged. Come and see the sitting room. It's mostly dust and kitchen stains. Paragraph 18. As Ada cleaned, she moved with quiet speed. Every swipe of her rag carried memories from the past week. She was extra careful, avoiding anything that might cause suspicion. She didn't even drink water until she left the compound. As she was about to go, Madame Ife called her. Come and sit. Ada hesitated. Ma. Sit down, I said. She obeyed slowly. Your eyes. They carry sadness, the woman said softly. Ada looked down. I'm fine, ma. No, you're not. Something happened recently. You want to talk. Ada bit her lip. Her voice shook. I was accused wrongly. They called me a thief. They pushed me out like I was trash. Paragraph 19. Madame Ife listened quietly. So what happened? She asked. Ada narrated everything. The party job, the missing meat, the false accusation, the silence of Cunnel, and the public disgrace. The woman nodded slowly. I've seen this happen to many girls. People see cleaner and think thief. They think poor means shameless. Ada blinked back tears. I didn't even touch their kitchen. I was just doing my job. Madame Ife reached out and held her hand. You have dignity, my dear. Don't let their small minds make you forget that. Some people wear gold but are rotten inside. Paragraph 20. Before she left, Madame Ife paid her in full and added an extra 2,000 naira. For your honesty, she said. Ada hesitated. Ma, it's too much. Keep it, the woman said firmly. And any time you need cleaning work, call me directly. Ada thanked her deeply, and for the first time in days, a small smile appeared on her face. As she walked home, the sun warmed her skin. The world still felt heavy, but a small part of her heart was beginning to feel light again. Maybe, just maybe, not everyone in the world was cruel. Paragraph 21. That evening, Ada returned home with some foodstuff she picked up from the market. Some rice, tomatoes, and 2 tins of milk for her baby. Mama, you're smiling today. Mama Chitty teased as she handed the baby over. Small, small joy they come back, Ada replied, tickling her baby's chin. She sat on the mat, unwrapping the groceries. One madam gave me extra 2,000. She say I remind her of someone she respected. Mama Chitty clapped her hands. Hen. You see now. No let one bad day wipe all your joy away. Ada nodded, though deep inside the hurt still lingered. Paragraph 22. The next day, Ada received another call. This time from a young woman named Bola. Hello, please, my auntie said you cleaned her house yesterday. Yes, I did, Ada responded. She gave me your number. I have a small apartment that needs cleaning. Just living room and kitchen. Okay, I can come tomorrow morning. Great. I'll pay 6,000. Ada smiled. That's fine, thank you. After ending the call, she looked at her son and said, You see, my boy? They tried to disgrace me, but God is lifting me. The baby giggled, clapping his hands. That sound made Ada feel alive again. Paragraph 23. By the weekend, Ada had cleaned 3 more houses. Each person she worked for either complimented her neatness or asked for her number for future work. One woman even asked, Do you have other girls like you? Ada shook her head. Not yet. The woman nodded. If you ever start a small cleaning group, I'll support you. That idea planted a seed in her heart. A team, she thought. People who work honestly like me, who need a chance like I did. That night she couldn't sleep. Her thoughts were filled with possibilities. Maybe this pain could birth something good. Paragraph 24. One afternoon, while folding clothes in her small room, Ada got another unexpected visitor. Cunnel again. She opened the door, startled. What do you want now? She asked, her face blank. Please, he said, hands in his pockets. Just hear me out. I know deserve it, but I've been feeling guilty every single day. Ada sighed deeply and leaned against the doorframe. You should feel guilty. You saw me cry. You watched them insult me like a dog. Cunnel nodded. Yes, and I regret everything. I want to make it right somehow. Paragraph 25. Ada shook her head. You can't fix it, Cunnel. That shame will always follow me. People in that compound looked at me like I was nothing. He stepped forward slightly. At least let me help you find more cleaning work. I know people, and I can put in a good word. She raised her brows. So you want to act like a savior now? No, he said quickly. Just a man trying to do right by his mistake. Ada looked away for a moment. Go and come back tomorrow. If you're serious, bring 2 jobs for me. Then maybe I'll believe you mean well. The next day, Cunnel returned, surprisingly with 2 addresses written on a piece of paper. One woman lives in Aguda. She needs kitchen deep cleaning. The other one is in Surulere, just a bedroom sweep and mopping. Ada looked at the names. You actually brought something. I told you I want to do better, Cunnel said. I don't want to be remembered as the coward who watched you get humiliated. Ada folded the paper and placed it in her purse. Thanks. I'll try them out. But don't think this makes us friends again. Trust is not soap you can rinse and reuse. Paragraph 27. As Ada began cleaning the new houses, she noticed something shifting within her. The confidence she had lost was gradually returning. She walked taller, smiled more, and even started thinking of branding. Maybe I should print a small card, she told Mama Chitty one evening. Something like, Ada Sparkle Cleaning Services. The older woman clapped with excitement. Ada Sparkle. That one's sweet. God go bless this your hand. Ada laughed. It was the first time she had felt like laughing freely since the incident. She hugged her baby tighter. One day, I'll give you a life better than mine. Paragraph 28. One of the women Ada worked for, Madame Ruqayyat, seemed particularly kind. She watched Ada work carefully and asked questions about her life. You're a young woman with fire, she told her. Why not grow your own business? Hire 2 or 3 girls. Build a small name. I can introduce you to some of my friends in Ikoyi. Ada was stunned. Me? Business? Yes, you. Madame Ruqayyat insisted. Start small. Be smart. Not everyone is your enemy. That night, Ada sat down and wrote a list. Name ideas, people she could train, and tools she would need. For once, her pain had a purpose. Paragraph 29. But not every day was rosy. There were still moments when her mind replayed the day she was pushed out into the rain. Sometimes she would wake up from sleep with her heart pounding. The shame wasn't something that disappeared easily. One day, while buying soap at the market, she saw one of the women from that party. The woman looked at her briefly and turned away. Ada didn't flinch. She looked the woman dead in the eye. "Good afternoon," Ada said firmly. The woman said nothing. Ada smiled. "God bless you," she added. Then she walked away, her back straight and unshaken. Paragraph 30. That evening, Ada lit a candle in her room. She wasn't praying for money or more jobs. She was praying for peace. "God," she whispered, "I won't curse them, even though they cursed me. But I want you to fight for me. I want you to make my name a blessing." Her baby cooed from the mat, and she smiled through her tears. "I know who I am. I am not a thief. I am not a disgrace. I am Ada. And one day, those who called me names will wish they had treated me better." She blew out the candle and slept in peace. Paragraph 31. Ada's days began to fill up quickly. Word of mouth spread faster than she expected. People started calling her not just to clean but to train others. "You're very thorough," one woman said. "Do you take apprentices?" Ada blinked. "No, ma. I can try." That night she spoke to Mama Chitty. "What if I train 2 girls?" she asked. "Let them work with me, and maybe we can earn more." Mama Chitty smiled proudly. "My Ada. From being disgraced to becoming a madam. God is working." Ada laughed. "It's not much, but at least I'm standing on my feet again." Paragraph 32. She started with 2 girls, Tina and Blessing, young, polite, and eager to learn. "No shortcuts," Ada told them. "Even if the place is dirty, clean it like it's your own house. And don't touch what you're not given." The girls nodded. She taught them how to fold cloths, scrub tiles, and mix cleaning agents safely. "Clients like honesty more than anything," Ada added. "If you can't do something, say so. But never lie." Her little room became a mini office, and sometimes she even drew up schedules by hand. She was still healing, but every task brought her a step closer to peace. Paragraph 33. One Sunday afternoon, while Ada was resting, a strange number called her. "Hello, good afternoon," the voice said. "Am I speaking with Ada?" "Yes, this is she," Ada replied. "My name is Mrs. Abayomi. You cleaned my cousin's house in Surulere last week. She gave me your number. I need a team to deep clean my mother's flat before she returns from surgery." Ada sat up. "We can do that, Ma." "Perfect," the woman said. "How much for 3 bedrooms, kitchen, and 2 bathrooms?" Ada quickly calculated. "That'll be 18,000, Ma." "Send me your account number," the woman replied. "I'll pay deposit tonight." Paragraph 34. Ada jumped from her chair after the call. "This one is serious work," she told Mama Chitty. "We'll go in a team. I'll take Tina and Blessing." She spent the rest of the evening preparing tools, buying extra detergent and gloves, and carefully planning how the rooms would be divided. She also prayed quietly. "God, let no shame return. Let no insult meet me here." The job went smoothly. By the end of the day, the woman was impressed. "You're very organized," Mrs. Abayomi said. "You cleaned like professionals." Ada smiled, tired but fulfilled. "We try our best, Ma." And it was true. Paragraph 35. A week later, Connell called again. "Ada, there's one woman looking for someone to clean short-let apartments weekly. She's opening 5 new flats." Ada's voice was calm. "I'll go. Text me the address." "I go come with you?" he asked, sounding hopeful. "No," she replied. "Just send the details." After the call, she sat back. She no longer felt angry at Connell. Not because he had done right by her, but because she had moved on. His voice no longer triggered pain. "Forgiveness is not always for them," she whispered. "Sometimes it's for us, so we don't carry bitterness forever." Paragraph 36. As she walked to the new job location, Ada passed by the compound where she was once disgraced. Her heart skipped. She hadn't been back since that awful day. At first, she wanted to cross to the other side of the road. But then she stopped. "No," she muttered. "I will pass proudly." She walked slowly past the gate, her eyes forward. A gatekeeper stood nearby, looking at her curiously. "Isn't this the woman they shouted at last time?" she heard someone whisper. She didn't look back. She walked with grace, her head held high. That alone was her silent revenge. Paragraph 37. The flat cleaning job became a steady weekly gig. Ada and her girls handled it like professionals. They wore matching aprons, carried ID cards she printed at a cybercafe, and always arrived early. Clients began referring them without hesitation. "Ada Sparkle Services is reliable," one woman told her friend. "I leave them in my house and go to work. Nothing ever goes missing." Each week Ada's confidence grew. She was no longer just a cleaner. She was a businesswoman, a trainer, a leader. She no longer felt small or forgotten. Her name, once dragged in mud, was now spoken with respect. Paragraph 38. One Saturday, Ada received a message on WhatsApp. It was from the same compound where the incident had happened. The number belonged to the elderly woman who had walked in during the accusation. "Ada, I heard what really happened. I was quiet that day, and I regret not speaking. Sorry. Please come clean my flat." Ada read it over and over. Her hands trembled, not in fear, but in deep reflection. After all this time, the truth had started surfacing. She replied simply, "Thank you, Ma. I'll be there on Monday with my team." Paragraph 39. When Ada arrived at the compound on Monday, people stared. Some remembered her. Others had only heard stories. She didn't care. She walked in wearing her apron, flanked by Tina and Blessing. The elderly woman welcomed her in. "You've grown," she said, smiling softly. "You carry yourself differently." Ada nodded. "Life taught me." They began work, and for the first time in that compound, Ada was not the target of suspicion, but the one trusted to bring cleanliness and order. As they scrubbed and wiped, she felt something release inside her. She was free now. Their shame no longer held her. Paragraph 40. As she was about to leave, the elderly woman pressed something into her hand. It was an envelope. "For your time, and for the day I failed to defend you." Ada opened it outside. It was 10,000 naira, more than she was due. Her eyes stung, but she didn't cry. She had shed enough tears already. She turned to her girls. "Let's go. We have more jobs to do." As they walked away, Ada smiled quietly to herself. Life had tried to bury her, but she rose. Not with curses, not with revenge. Just with grace, hard work, and the quiet strength of a woman who refused to stay down. Paragraph 41. Ada's business continued to grow. What started with tears and disgrace had now become something beautiful. She opened a small savings account, one she named Sparkle Dreams. "One day, I'll rent a small office," she told Mama Chitty. "Just a small place where clients can come and meet us, and we won't look like beggars." The older woman nodded, eyes misty with pride. "You're turning your pain into progress. That's power." Ada grinned. "Na Gado." Even her baby, now walking and calling her Mama, seemed to notice the new lightness in her steps. Paragraph 42. One evening, after her team had finished cleaning a duplex in Lekki, the client, a quiet man in his 40s, pulled her aside. "I've watched you supervise these girls," he said. "You're not just hardworking, you're wise." Ada smiled. "Thank you, sir." "Have you ever thought of registering your business formally?" he asked. Ada blinked. "No, sir. I don't even know how to go about it." The man handed her a card. "Call me tomorrow. I'll connect you to someone in CAC. Let's make Ada Sparkle a real company." Ada stood there stunned. "Thank you, sir." "God bless you," she said, her voice shaking. Paragraph 43. That night, Ada sat outside her room under the moonlight, holding the card like it was gold. "God," she whispered. "So this is how you work. From crying in the rain to holding keys to something new." Her baby crawled onto her lap, and she hugged him close. "You won't grow up in shame. You will grow up in grace." She looked up at the stars and smiled. The voices of those who had cursed her were fading now. The voice inside her, the one reminding her of her strength, was louder. Paragraph 44. By the following month, Ada had officially registered Ada Sparkle Cleaning Services. She kept the documents safe in a plastic folder and showed it to anyone who asked. "Wow, you're legit now," Blessing had shouted. "Yes-o," Ada beamed. "No more just cleaning houses. We're building a name." Even Connell, who now respectfully kept his distance, heard about it. One day, he saw her walking confidently with her branded apron and tools in a backpack. "Ada," he called. She turned briefly. "Well done," he said quietly. She gave a slight nod and kept walking. No hatred. Just closure. Paragraph 45. A month later, Ada was invited to a women's empowerment seminar. Madame Ruqayyat had referred her. "You'll speak about your journey," the woman said. "Tell them how you turned disgrace into growth." Ada felt nervous. "Me? Talk for people?" "Yes. You're living proof that dignity is not in riches, but in how you carry yourself." At the event, Ada stood in front of a small crowd of young women. She took a deep breath. "My name is Ada. I'm a cleaner, a mother, and now a business owner. But before all this, I was called names I wouldn't repeat." Paragraph 46. She told them everything, how she was wrongly accused, thrown out, cursed in front of strangers. "I wanted to disappear," she said. "But I didn't. Got up. Not for myself alone but for my baby." The hall was silent. One girl in the front wiped her eyes. "I know what it feels like to be looked down on," Ada said. "But listen to me. Your job doesn't define your worth. Your response to shame does." When she finished, the applause was thunderous. Women came up to hug her, some in tears. A lady even whispered, "I was about to give up. But you gave me hope." Paragraph 47. That night, Ada walked home slowly, her mind replaying the cheers and claps. She never imagined she would one day inspire others. She reached her room, dropped her bag, and hugged her son tight. "You see, baby, your mama is more than a cleaner now. I'm a voice." He giggled and clapped. Ada laid on her mat, grateful. She didn't have a mansion. She didn't have millions. But she had peace, respect, and a purpose. And those were riches no one could take from her. Paragraph 48. Weeks passed. Ada's business expanded beyond her neighborhood. She got uniforms made, simple but neat, navy blue shirts with Ada Sparkle printed boldly. Clients now referred her through Instagram and WhatsApp. She even hired a boy from the community to manage bookings. "You go soon need office-o," Mama Chitty teased. "Nah small," Ada smiled. "We go reach there." One evening, she passed by a group of people chatting on her street. One of them whispered, "That's Ada. You remember how she was disgraced? Look at her now." She heard it clearly, but she didn't stop walking. She had no time for backward glances. Paragraph 49. One day, she saw the young lady who had accused her at the party. The girl was walking out of a store, talking loudly on the phone. Their eyes met. The girl paused, clearly uncomfortable. Ada stared, not with anger but calm indifference. "Good afternoon," she said politely. The girl didn't answer, only lowered her eyes and walked away quickly. Ada turned and kept walking. "Forgiveness doesn't mean I forget," she told herself. "It means I choose peace over bitterness." That moment closed a chapter in her soul. She felt light, like someone who had dropped a heavy load and refused to pick it up again. Paragraph 50. That evening, Ada hosted a small gathering in her room. Just Tina, Blessing, and a few clients turned friends. To growth, one of them toasted. To dignity, another added. Ada raised her plastic cup of malt. To every woman who was ever looked down on and still rose. They cheered, laughed, and ate jollof rice together. There was no loud music, no camera crew. Just honest joy and shared strength. As the evening ended, Ada sat on her bed, watching her baby sleep. We made it this far, she whispered. And we're not done yet. Paragraph 51. One early morning, Ada received a message from a popular lifestyle blog. Hi Ada, we heard about your story through one of your clients. We would love to interview you for our Women Who Inspire feature. First she thought it was a scam. But after confirming the sender, her hands trembled. She agreed. When the interview was published, her picture appeared alongside a headline that read, From Cleaner to CO, the woman who turned shame into strength. Her phone buzzed non-stop for days. Strangers sent her messages of admiration. You don't know how much this story has changed me, one said. She didn't let the praise get to her head. I'm still Ada, she told herself. Still waking early, still scrubbing tiles, still carrying tools. But deep inside, she knew she had crossed a line no one could push her back from. The small life she once managed was now growing into a legacy. You're a brand now, her booking assistant teased one day. Ada laughed. Brand that still bends down to clean toilet. But even as she laughed, her heart swelled. She had dignity. She had direction. She had God. And that was everything. Paragraph 53. One day, while waiting for a meeting with a potential client, she found herself seated beside a well-dressed woman who kept staring at her. The woman finally asked, Are you Ada Sparkle? Yes, I am, she smiled. I read your story, the woman said. I used to be ashamed of my hustle. But now I walk taller. Ada felt tears threaten to rise. You don't know how much that means to me, she replied. In that moment she understood. Her healing had become medicine for others. Her disgrace had become a doorway for many to find their voice. Paragraph 54. Meanwhile, Tina and Blessing were also growing. Auntie Ada, one client even asked me to come train her house girl. Tina said one afternoon. You're doing well, Ada smiled proudly. And soon you'll train others too. She planned to send them for short training courses, maybe even register them under her growing company. We will all rise together, she thought. I won't eat alone. Ada wasn't just building a cleaning business anymore. She was building a system that empowered women like her, who had been overlooked and underestimated. Paragraph 55. One Sunday after church, Ada was called out during the announcements. We want to celebrate Sister Ada, the pastor said, smiling warmly. Her story has touched many. She has reminded us that no job is small, and that faith, even in pain, can produce beauty. The church clapped. Ada walked to the altar, her hands shaking. She held the mic and said, I once cried in the rain because of what people did to me. But God turned my tears into testimony. I stand here not because I'm strong, but because He lifted me. Paragraph 56. After the service, people gathered around her, some with handshakes, others with hugs. An elderly woman pressed money into her palm. Use this for your business, she said. Ada tried to refuse, but the woman insisted. You're not just working for yourself. You're inspiring others. That night, Ada reflected on it all. The false accusation, the humiliation, pain, and now the recognition. See how God rewrites stories, she whispered. From rejected to respected. Her baby reached for her necklace and giggled. She kissed his forehead. Your mama is trying, my boy. And we're just getting started. Paragraph 57. By the next year, Ada Sparkle Cleaning had 6 employees, branded vans, and clients across Lagos. She moved into a slightly bigger apartment, still modest but clean and safe. She paid her child's school fees with joy, no longer relying on leftovers or scraps. Every naira I earn now carries honor, she told Tina one day. And whenever she looked at her work apron, neatly folded beside her bed, she didn't see a cloth of shame anymore. She saw a cape. Her uniform had become her armor. Paragraph 58. One afternoon, a woman from a foundation reached out. "We're organizing a training for young girls who dropped out of school. Will you come and speak?" Ada agreed without hesitation. She stood before a room filled with tired eyes and slouched shoulders. "My name is Ada," she began, "and they once said I'd die a cleaner." Murmurs followed. "But here I am," she continued, "cleaning with pride, employing others, and making a name from what they mocked." She saw heads begin to lift, hope glinting in the eyes of girls who had almost given up. Paragraph 59. She stayed back after the program, speaking to a few girls who had no families, no support, and no direction. "Can I learn from you?" one asked shyly. Ada smiled. "You can start tomorrow." She created a space in her growing team just for them. "They laughed at me," she thought, "but today I'm opening doors for others." Her pain had become a platform. Her story, once a whisper in the rain, was now a trumpet of hope echoing through the city. Paragraph 60. Years later, people would forget the name of the woman who accused her, the ones who cursed her, the ones who pushed her into the rain. But they would remember Ada Sparkle, the cleaner who refused to be shamed, the mother who turned struggle into strength, the woman who built an empire with her bare hands and her clean heart. And Ada. She never forgot where she came from. Because it was in the dirt they threw at her that she planted her roots, and from there she bloomed.